Hi, this is the training for outside scrutineering for Tria Donaldson. I'll try to make this as speedy as I can. We're going to go through some dandelion and just some things that you should be aware of. So, outside scrutineering, it is all about pulling the vote. So, the people who don't know that slang, it's just about getting those people, motivating them to come to the polls and cast their ballot for Tria Donaldson. Driving that sense of urgency. It's the last day to cast the ballot, and as you guys are our front end workers, we're looking for you to really drive that sense of urgency. We anticipate it'll be a close race, and we want to have all hands on deck. All right. So people who have not been in outside scrutiny before, who are talking to folks on the doorstep, some things you may want to think about. One, we always encourage you to wear a mask, even if you're outside. We do encourage social distancing. So if you press the doorbell and take a few steps back, that's best practice. Second is to bring a drink and a snack. If you bring a water bottle, make sure it's full. We will do our best to make sure that there's some water on hand on the day. Third, bring your charged phone and your optional charging block. So Dandelion does kind of eat up your battery life, so make sure that you're getting prepared for your shift. As well, we will have some charging blocks, but if you can provide your own USB cord, that would be best so that we know that it's compatible. Lastly, make sure you have your kit in hand if you needed to pick it up earlier because you weren't able to get to your zone house for the day. So, starting your shift, you're going to go to your zone house. Most people will be doing this, and you will get your kit and your directions. So you get a clipboard, and they will tell you what polls that you'll be polling for the day, and they'll walk you through any questions you have about dandelion so that you're feeling prepared. If you're polling from your own home, remember to text the person to let them know that you're starting your shift. If you don't know what your polling stations are, they will tell you and probably phone you just to walk you through it if you have any questions. Okay, so when you're outside scrutineering, we're using, if I keep calling it an app, I don't mean to call it that. It's actually just a URL in a browser. So it's called Dandelion, and we use this canvassing door to door throughout the whole campaign. But on E-Day, I want you to disregard most of those options on there. The one that we care about the most, and it really should be number one here, is the has voted option. Marks is very handy as well, although we will be pulling our ones and twos. You never know, we might get a sprinkle of people who have changed their minds last minute, so that would be good to keep on hand if you end up having to go back to them. And lastly is the contact outcome, because the system won't let you save that contact information until you put a contact outcome. Everything else we can ignore. You're also going to have your clipboard in hand because Dandelion does not allow you to input marks, input specific information, I should say. So if someone has a vote plan says that I'm going to vote at X time when my partner gets home, we can't input that into Dandelion. So we need to write it down on our piece of paper, clearly mark it on there. So if you're new to this, you may not know what to say. We do have a script, so you're welcome to say it word for word. As you get more involved and comfortable, go ahead and mix that up. And again, we're always about engaging, motivating, informing, and driving urgency. Okay, so in your email, you would have gotten some information on your credentials and how to log into Dandelion. If you haven't done it before, I'm going to show you what you need to do. Okay, so Dandelion, sorry, I should have logged out of here, but I didn't. Okay, so when you start, you're going to open up your browser on your phone, dandelion.run, and this is what you're going to see. And then you're going to type in FED NDP, which stands for Federal NDP, and you're going to join an existing Dandelion. From there, you're going to type in your information, which you would have received in your email. For myself, they all follow the same formula. So my name is Sawyer, my last name is Swan. It's going to be S Swan-Fed. Okay, so we're logged in, and the first thing you're going to do is you're going to create a new canvas. And in this menu, you're going to go to list to canvas, and there's going to be, on the day of, there's going to be a huge list of canvases here. All right, sorry about that pause. I realized I didn't have mine uploaded, so what I'm going to is to try to troubleshoot this. Yes, good. So I just went back out, went back in, and my canvas sheet is uploaded. You probably won't see that issue on the day. If you do, we know what to do, and we can tell you exactly what to do. So you will see a huge list here because we're going to have absolutely every poll open. So to make sure that you're double, triple checking that you're picking the right one. So this one, my zone captain is going to tell me that I'm going into poll 141, and that's where I'm clicking. Everything else we can leave as it is, and we're going to click on create new canvas. All right, so when we do that, it compiles a list of the ones that we've checked off, and we only have one. So my list is of one, and I'm going to click on that one, and so then I can start my canvas. So the thing I would recommend is to group by street and block. It's way easier to navigate. Um, you can play around with this just to see how it works. There's a lot of drop down menus, so it'll group it. So it'll be alphabetical, and then if you drop down, it'll be by block, and then you'll see the people on those blocks. So in Harbor Landing, we have 4,800 block, and we only have one person to go to try to pull for that day. And we can bring it down, and it's Conlin right there. And if you're new to canvassing, you're welcome to make a path that works for you. So if you look at this map here, sorry, it's show map, hide map right there. If it's purple, it means we haven't contacted them yet during our canvas period here. If it's green, it means we have contacted them. But I want to stress that it doesn't mean that they've voted. It means that we just had a conversation with them. Just keep that in mind, that it's more just a general overview of who you've had a conversation with, not the contact, or sorry, not the voting, not if they voted or not. So I will provide the zone captains with a paper map if that's something you prefer. So if there's some of those, you can ask for that. Okay, so in this scenario, I'm going to go to James Hill Road first, and I've decided, and then we just have one 500 block to go to. So we'll drop that down, and you'll see we have 6 people, or 6 households to contact, 1 person at each household. Oh, that's really cool. Okay, so something I want to tell you guys right off the hop. I'm showing you something that what our runners would be doing, and those are the people that are helping you so that you don't have to go to a bunch of households. There are people who have already voted. So if I go to had voted, no sequence, no bingo. No 141. Wonderful. Okay. So I did some sleuthing, and my colleague Mason lives on James Hills Road. Don't worry, he gave me permission to do this. So his sequence number is 120. Now, for those who don't know, a sequence number is the number that Elections Canada gives you in your polling location. I wouldn't be able to know without, there was some really hard work to find out who that person is. Anyways, we know Mason's voted, so I checked him off and I pressed save. He lives on James Hill Road, and he's not there, which is awesome. So when we do these lists, we're going to exclude people who've already voted, and so they should not show up. But throughout the day, those runners who are going to grab information from the polling locations and type in the data to show who has voted. When they press sync on their side and you press sync on your side, it'll match up, and you will see names crossed off. So unfortunately, I'm not able to show you that, but I do know that Mason is voted, and he's not showing up here, which is fantastic. So that means our algorithm is working. But let's say, um, you know, 9 o'clock comes around, our first round of people are going out to grab our sequence number sheets and inputting the data, and let's say Trevor votes. So that's going to be striked off, and you don't have to go to them. So let's go into a household. I'll just pick Trevor for now. And say we're having a conversation with them, trying to encourage them to go out to vote, asking them what their vote plan is. You can check off a mark here that should save while you are on the doorstep. So if you have to come back to them and ask them if they have voted yet, or to encourage them to vote again, you know what they are. If for some reason they decided to go green, you could check it off, and then if you're approaching that house and you check and you look at it, you really go, great, this guy is not voting for us, so we're not going to try to pull them. Again, these algorithms and who we are contacting should be very solid. Those should be one-offs of people who just switched last minute. We don't care about leaning, sign, volunteer. The only thing we care about is they voted or not. And so you can see that if you can check that off if you'd like, if they said, yes, I have voted. And then the contact outcome. So you put contacted, not moved, deceased, whatever that may be. And I would put like contacted there. So for you to save this, you'd have to put a contact outcome, because there's going to be like a little red thing on the bottom saying you need to, they're going to tell you that you need to do that before you can click on record contact. So at this point, I'm just going to pretend that he's not home. No, I'm going to actually do that way, sorry. So we're going to record the contact. And so that records that information in Dandelion for you as you are doing your polling. So you see it's green. Again, that doesn't mean, it just means you had a conversation with them. The only way that it's going to have a strike through to show that they have voted is if our runner on their end has inputted that data and has validated that they have indeed voted. So there might be a bit of a lag, so just be patient, because our runners are doing multiple polls, and they only go every 2 hours or every 1 hour when it comes in the afternoon. And so just be mindful that you should be syncing on a regular basis so that you're getting the most up-to-date information. I do want to point out, though, if you get that validation, as we see here, that verbal validation from Trevor that they have voted, and maybe they haven't, and they're just like maybe irritated. We do get a few of those folks. If it's up to you to make that call, and you can write it down onto your clipboard and just say has voted, and we can skip to the next person. Okay. So the one thing I should be stressing to you right now is that you are syncing constantly. I know I've said that once before, but it's very important if you have data to sync as much as possible every once in a while, so that information is live and it's not being lost. On your smartphone, be extra careful not to press the back button on your browser. So for me, it would be up here. If I press that and I didn't sync anything, all that information is lost. So make sure you're syncing, not pressing that back button. All right. So I think that's about it for Dandelion. Again, ignoring everything except for the voted, maybe mark, and of course the outcome. And the only thing that we care about is having the Elections Canada sequence number sheets being updated and showing a strike through, showing that you don't need to go to them. All right, so we'll go back to the presentation here. So like I said, it doesn't record vote plans, so make sure that we're writing that down on our clipboard. If you are in multiple polls at once for some reason, making sure that you're only putting vote plans for, let's say you're in polls 32 and 33, that you're putting them on separate sheets, because you are going to be handing these off to another person at the end of your shift, and they may not be going into the same polls as you. So just keeping them separate makes it really easy, and try to rate neatly as well. Rye requests, there will be some slips on there for rye requests. You can fill them out if you like and take a picture and then send them via text to your zone captain. Or if you're not a texting person, you can try phoning that in as well. If it's not as very timely, you know that they want to be picked up at 5 o'clock, it's 10 a.m. You can wait until the end of your shift to bring that information to your zone captain. Okay, so at the end of your shift, you've done your rounds. You're going to bring your clipboard and your charging block, if you borrowed one, back to your zone house. Remember, if you're doing a count, to give yourself plenty of time, because the building does close at 7:30 and you need to be in there before 7:30 or else we can't get in. All right, if you have any questions on up to election day, so the couple days before, the weekend before, please reach out to us. If you need to pick up a kit beforehand, let us know and we can arrange for you to come down here, or we will try to get it to you if you're not very mobile. And that's our contact information up above. On election day, you are contacting your zone captain and always trying to by text before you have to do a phone call. And that's it, because they are going to be maneuvering a lot of people, and so text just helps them to know where to prioritize you. All right, thank you guys so much. Have fun out there, and I will hope maybe see you on election day.